Good morning. I'm outside today to enjoy all of the bird noises in my backyard. This little box above me here has a nest. And let's just begin by getting comfortable in our environment. Planting your feet flat on the floor, sitting up straight but comfortable. And inhaling deeply, stretching and relaxing the torso with each breath. Let's take 3 deep breaths together, noticing the rise and fall of the torso with each breath. And continuing our June meditation series with our work to align with unconditional love. Today we'll be exploring thoughts and emotions. I am a little wriggly because of the mosquitoes. I'll do my best. So we become what we think. We attract what we think. We notice what we think. And so our thoughts are pretty important. And in meditation, we can become aware of what's going on underneath the surface of our busy lives. Let's continue through a typical mindfulness practice. As we settle into the body, we will then begin to explore thoughts and emotions. And as they arise during our introductory part of this session, notice them as well and return to the breath, return to the listening, return to the anchor that we happen to be working with. Let's begin with a body scan today to help ground our attention into the present moment, to slow down our thoughts. Noticing your feet flat on the floor, sending our awareness up our legs, and just stopping to breathe in any part of the body where we have discomfort or suffering. Stop and rub the knees, taking a few deep breaths. And sending our awareness up to the abdomen and belly. And just stop and rub the belly as well. And noticing the rise and fall of the torso as we continue to breathe. And sending our awareness up the body into the shoulders, stopping to rub the heart. Opening the heart and the throat. And relaxing the shoulders, raising and lowering the shoulders. And then taking our awareness to the face, relaxing the face, just noticing small things about the top of our head, perhaps the feeling of hair on your shoulders or face or ears. And let's direct our attention now to the anchor of sound, listening for sounds within the body. First, always starting from within and then heading out. The sound of swallowing and breathing, fidgeting. I'm just noticing any little movements we feel compelled to make. Maybe you feel like you've got to bite your lip or else, or you need to scratch this or else. That's fine. Noticing the body's needs and allowing them to be. And now stretching our awareness to sounds outside the body. And just noticing all of the sounds in your room of practice. In my case, it's a whole lot of songbirds. Nice to have the break from the magpies today. And stretching out our awareness further and further, and just noticing the sense of relaxation that accompanies expanding our awareness outside of our own little bodies. The sense of relaxation and ease and freedom from the limitations of our mind and bodies as our awareness stretches further and further, encompassing more and more people, more and more things. Perhaps we can hear traffic, construction, other people talking. And we're not caught up in those stories. We're just a gentle observer, always coming back to the breath, inhaling deeply and letting it out. The cycle of up and down as we breathe in and out, and then the cycle of expansion, a concentric circle getting wider and wider. It's a wonderful feeling of movement, even though we're sitting still. There's a lot going on as we practice. There's a lot to pay attention to as we work together to develop this mental and physical discipline. Perhaps you've already been aware of thoughts and feelings arising, and we welcome them into our practice now that we are a little more still and slow. We can pose ourselves a question. I hesitate to identify ourselves as the inner being, the inner divine, the inner source energy, the image of God that exists within us, because then it implies some separation between the me that I usually pay attention to and then this important me that I should be paying attention to. We are all one being, and with our attention, we choose where to energize. Do we choose to energize thoughts of lack, limitation, and shame? Or do we choose to energize the thoughts that align us with unconditional love? And if we feel loving and forgiving, we're making the mark. And if we are stuck in anger, in resentment, in judging, in shame, then we're just wasting our power and we are off the mark. And how do we know? We know by how we feel. And so we can go moment by moment, thought by thought, surrendering each thought one at a time. And if you're like me and you've got decades of toxic thinking under your belt, then this is going to take a little while to change momentum, but so worth it. Let's do it together. So let's pose ourselves a question. What separates me from aligning with unconditional love in all of my spheres of influence, personal, family, professional, and in the public? What am I holding on to? What do I gain from holding on to thoughts of lack, limitation, anger, resentment, and shame? That's more than one question. Those are the big questions. We may not get all the answers in our 15-minute Sunday meditation. This is something to sit with over the week. Start listening, pay attention. If we are stuck in thoughts of anger and resentment and shame, there's some payoff there for us. So, what is it? Let's figure it out. Hope I'm not bugging Mama Bird here too much. She'll poop on me if that's the case. And just inhaling deeply, we have posed some big questions to ourselves. In the stillness we have generated through our attention to body, breath, and sound, let's allow some answers to arise. We'll be allowing thoughts and emotions to rise intuitively, and those are the ones we can note for further exploration outside of our meditation practice. Perhaps journaling or researching or discussing can lead to further answers. However, we don't need mental, intellectual, logical answers to feel better. We just need to be willing to let go. Coming back to the breath, inhaling deeply and exhaling. Always with gratitude for this perfect imperfect vehicle carrying us on this journey. And for our perfect imperfect thought and thinking process, our feeling process that has gotten us this far. And inhaling deeply and exhaling. As emotions and thoughts arise, greet each with gratitude, no matter how shallow, petty, or distracted it might seem. Each thought and emotion is welcome. Visualize cradling ourselves as a very tender mother would with a young child. And just holding ourselves in this wonderful, loving space, admiring ourselves, respecting ourselves, giving ourselves permission to release thoughts of lack, limitation, shame, worry, scarcity, fearfulness. Yes, scarcity, that's what it is. Okay. That's what I feel from our thought soup today. So chronic thinking of there's not enough. If someone else has love, happiness, and respect, then there's not enough for me. I have to protect what I have. I have to fight to get more. Okay. And so just breathing through those thoughts of lack and limitation and scarcity, reminding ourselves that there's enough for everyone. There's enough love and forgiveness and acceptance and tolerance and joy for everyone. And when one is uplifted, we are all uplifted. Just inhaling deeply into this feeling of abundance and ease and prosperity. Reminding ourselves that our own personal upliftment and growth doesn't mean someone else is stuck in the dirt. Our own personal growth and success and loving nature, the development of our loving and forgiving nature, uplifts everyone around us. And how wonderful that is. This is good math, the math of abundance, of spiritual abundance. I invite you to continue this exploration over the week. We have one more meeting online where we will continue to explore our alignment with the divine and unconditional love, continuing with thoughts and emotions. The great idea that occurred to me today was just how trapped in scarcity thinking people are, including myself, and how important it is to release that in order to move on personally from anger and resentment, from shame and blame, and to move into the next fulfilling parts of our lives. I invite you to continue this exploration over the week. If you feel compelled to journal or discuss, please do so. Your questions and inquiries to me, they're always welcome. I love hearing from our group. We've got a large group of people who listen to the podcast and or watch the video and write me with their intentions and questions afterwards. So it is my honor to respond to those and to help uplift all of us. Thank you for joining me today. Looking forward to seeing you next week for our last online class, and stay tuned for notification about where we'll be meeting over the summer. Right now, Tuesday and Thursday nights at South Glenmore Park at 7:30 for a short practice, and maybe some Saturdays in Fish Creek Park. Have a wonderful day.